Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. So I got a question from a subscriber, I assume, about what do I use on my Marder 38T. And the question is a little more complicated with the response. So I thought, you know what, I'll just make a video because instead of doing this for one person, I can do it for hundreds or, whatever the number eventually ends up being. For those who are considering, using this tank. So it would be helpful if you could leave a like for this video to help spread the word. That way other people would have a better chance of seeing it. So let's go and see what I have on this Marder 38T. At least start there, and whatever happens, happens. Okay, so equipment-wise, I have, it's kind of obvious stuff to me, but, that's one of the tricks. What's obvious to you may not be obvious to somebody else. So we have advanced loader, obviously to shorten the reload time. I have traction for extra speed, but realistically this is probably the last of the four that you would do it. The reload is the most important thing. Since you're a sniper tank, extended vision is important. And then after that, the next most important thing to me would be the camo net to reduce your detectability. And then after you do all that, you just look at this and go, well, extra horsepower for engine, enhanced targeting is legitimately another good fourth choice. I prefer the extra speed for the mobility factor, and I haven't really had any problems needing enhanced targeting because the gun really doesn't shoot far enough to make that a problem. So that's really what it boils down to. Although, like I said, this is a legitimate concern. The best way to do it is whatever's the most comfortable for yourself. If you're more comfortable having enhanced targeting for your shooting versus the extra speed, by all means, go with the enhanced targeting. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's what fits you the best. That's always my response. So that covers what I have on this for the equipment and why I have it. Okay, so consumables is another good one. Consumables, we have a white repair, enhanced rations, and a white medical kit. I use white ones because when you properly play this, 100 matches, you're not going to need gold repair or gold first aid almost ever. You might need it once out of 100 games or whatever. The thing is, the gold costs 10,000, and this tank has no silver bonus, so you're going to lose money big time if you set this up differently. The point of my setup is that this will break even or make money over the long haul, no pun intended, because I do use this for long hauls. Let's say you play 100 games. The goal is you're going to have some games where you lose money, some games where you make a lot of money, some games where you make no money, etc., etc. So the net result of this 100 game sequence that you're going to play at some point over time is to be positive money. And that's why it's set up the way it's set up. Because I want to conserve money. Now, if I was playing without concern for money, I'd have gold repair and gold first aid. But it's really not necessary. And this comes from a lot of games in this tank. Now let's go check the bullets. This is another biggie. Two things. The bullets count is low. When they upped the hit points of tanks, they did not up the ammo capacity for the tanks themselves, so you're stuck with tanks like this one, which has got a low amount of ammo for the damage that you're going to be facing on the enemy team. The Thresher is another tank that can run out of ammo easily, like this tank. I'm sure there are other ones that I don't play and I don't know about them because I don't play them. It's just personal preference, no big deal. So here, I have 18 regulars and 20 premiums. Because what happens is when you face tier 4s, the regulars are fine. The premiums are especially helpful for the heavy tanks and also for the Matildas. Now, in some cases, you're going to face tier 5 tanks. You're going to need premium ammo. But since the game is set up where it doesn't let you know if you're going to be facing more or less tier 5s, which is bad game design that is done intentionally to, inconvenience the player, to be kind. I go with 18 and 20. Now, sometimes in a tier 4 match, I'm just going to shoot all my regular ammo first. If I end up running out of ammo, that means I'm kicking butt and I'm going to be making money, or I might lose a little bit of money, but I'm going to be scoring high. And this is my best scoring efficiency tank of all of them. And it's really funny. It wasn't really something I chose on my own. It was my friend Armored Wraith. It was like, he asked me the question, you ever played that 38T? I'm like, what the hell is that 38T? And he told me about it and everything. I go, okay, that looks fine. Now go show me. So he shows it to me one game. I'm like, okay, sold. I think he had 4 kills in that match. But it was very impressive as a performance. So that's why I have the setup that I have. Now, let's go look at the commander, because everyone's going to have a different commander to stick in the tank that have more or less skills. Skills. Okay, now, this guy is a 3-star. Means he's a 30% bonus earner. And I use this for long-haul missions because you gain multiple ways. Number 1, you get your long-haul missions done. Number 2, you're building your commander points in this tank to get more skills. Here's the skills. All right. Now, this is personal preference. Again, and this is an advanced commander. So I'm going to tell you something here that will help you indirectly. Now, when I was building the commander originally for this tank, I started with Quick Learner. Let's show you what Quick Learner is. That one right there. This gives you a 10% bonus on your earning of all your future skills. And I saw a video that Slap-a-Fish did explaining the numerical difference between a commander with Quick Learner and without Quick Learner. It was very good, and it's a little boring because it's numbers tedious. I thought about making a version of that video that was less boring, and I realized very quickly that it's super difficult, and I'd rather just tell you about it, and you can go and search it out if you want to find it, because he did an excellent job on the video. As someone who was trained in math, I graduated with a degree in math from university, so I knew that his conclusions were going to be what they were in advance. And so I knew he was correct. You do gain your skills faster if you play the same amount of games with or without the quick learner. The quick learner will give you that boost, just like the enhanced rations gives you a 10% boost. So the 10% boost to your commander with the rations plus the 10% boost of quick learner turns your 30% commander bonus into a 50% commander bonus. So now you're looking at my guy. This is when I reach the 8th skill, it's like get rid of the quick learner, go with the 8 skills, and I'm going to give you the 8 skills that I put on there. Now, if you're not using an 8 skill or higher commander, then I'm going to show you the sequence I would use to help you, starting from skill 1. Well, objectively, I would not put 1 skill commanders in this tank. What you should do in general is try to match your number of commander skills to the tier of your tank -2. So for example, this is a tier 4 tank, subtract 2. You'd like to have 2 or more to start with. This is a good rule of thumb that I have discovered. It'll keep you relevant without being underpowered. So if I was going by by himself, tough it out with the quick learner to get that second skill. The most important skill for this tank, once you have your quick learner, for skill 1, skill 2, rapid loading. It's your ability to do damage. Number 3, I would go with armor angling. This is the only thing you can do to this tank that will make it take less damage, -5%. It doesn't sound like much, but it can be the difference between life or death. In 100 games, it might be something that would make a impact 5 or 10 games. It's not very much, but it is a real number. So this would be number 3. Number 4, I'd go with binoculars to increase my vision. The vision of this tank is decent, but not great. Depending, actually, you could go number 4, could be steady aim. And, steady aim might be better now that I think about it. So, quick learner 1, reload 2. You might even, I don't know what the numbers are. I'd have to look at the numbers. It might be like 0.34. Let's take a look here. All right. The original gun, not too great. 31, decent. This is the gun you want, obviously. I have a .28, which is nasty. So yeah, you could get, it's going to take 4 off if you don't have it. So it'd be 32. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I said, quick learner 1, reload 2, armor angling 3. It's up to you. If you're feeling you need the extra accuracy, then go with this one that's number 4. But if you have the final gun, you're probably not going to have an accuracy problem in general. Tomato, tomato. 4 or 5 would be binoculars or steady aim, and then I would say the other one would be the 5th one. So one of these two is the 4th, the other one's the 5th one. 6, I would go with camouflage expertise to keep you from being detected is the clear, obvious goal. You'll get an accuracy minor boost off of Born Leader. Man, it's been so long that you might boost this guy up. You'll get a slightly faster reload, slightly further vision. It's the things you're going to get there. It's vision, reload, accuracy as well. It's very small on all of those, and it's a little bit of a helper. You get more vision from the binoculars. So again, we have steady aim and binoculars for extended vision. I think those are 4 and 5. But it could be. It depends on what you feel like you need. If you need extra accuracy, you might go 4, 5, 6. If you need more vision, you think you might go 4, 5 here, then 6 here. It's just going to depend on your style of play and what you feel as you're progressing. You're going to feel a deficiency in one area, and everyone's going to be slightly different. So really, it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th skills. You're going to have the juggling act of steady aim, Born Leader, and situational awareness with your binoculars is what I just call it. So it's one of those deals. Near the end, and this is another one, you could put this in wherever you want it due to your personal style and your comfort of the Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense, I didn't put this on till the very end because it's just, it's just one of those things. So you could add this one. It's up to you. If you feel comfortable with having this as your second or third, bump it up. So I'm just giving you some kind of a general hierarchy of what's most important. But again, this is from personal experience and in my comfortability. Your comfortability is going to be different than mine. So it doesn't matter if you disagree with me. It's not that you're right and I'm wrong. Overall, it's that you're right for you and I'm right for me. And we can do this differently and still be both very satisfied. So it's not a right or wrong situation, arbitrarily. It's what works, what you think is going to work best for you. Go with it. That's the key. Be comfortable. Don't look at someone's setup and go, oh, this is the only setup that I'm supposed to use, and if I can't use this, and I'm garbage. Or no, you have to be comfortable. You and I don't wear the same shoes. Just common sense. You wear a shoe that fits you, I wear one that fits me, and everybody's good. So that's the deal. Now for myself, I'm trying to think. I don't even remember what I would put on here. The last of these muffled shot, this is just a bonus, really. When you're, in the bushes or trees, whatever, to give you, extra stealth. Let's take a look and see what would I put in here. Now, things I wouldn't put on here. Now, Iron Mace is actually a good one. This will help you, especially when you're shooting tier 5, tanks at long range. This is probably the thing to get. Let me double check this. Again, it's a personal preference. Green Thumb is another excellent choice. I don't get fire problems in this tank, and I don't have much of a problem with crew getting knocked out, so pain tolerance, I don't have that, and I would not use it. It depends. It's your, as you play the game in this tank, your style is going to lead you to maybe have some problems that are different than the ones that I face, just because your style and my style will be different. Doesn't really matter. Again, it's not a question of good or bad. It's a question of what's comfortable for you. Your main concern is to get what's comfortable for you so you can be successful, whatever that is, okay? If successful for you means 500 damage a match, fantastic. If successful for you means 1,000 damage a match, fantastic. It doesn't matter. You define your success. Don't let someone tell you what is successful or not. Just, whatever lets you be the best you can be. Now, clearly things you don't need. Don't need a snapshot, no turret. Run and gun isn't going to help you really, because this is not a good tank to use for shooting on the move in general. Rapid aim, you have no turret, it doesn't do any good. It's kind of common sense-ish. Deadeye is okay, but you're wasting a skill when there's so many other things that are more important. Now, most of the guys you're going to be shooting have about a 400 hit point ballpark. Some have less. So that means you can kill them in 3 or 4, or in some case 5 direct hits, depending. Fire is okay, but when I go back and look at my thing, I'm like, would I take any of these out to put in Deadeye, which is only a minor addition of potential damage? The answer is no. I'm not putting Deadeye in ahead of any of these. All of these are better than Deadeye. For me. That's the thing. You might think it's better for you because it works better. Hey, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. So it's, like I said, it's not a binary choice of right or wrong. It's what do you think works best for you. Which is why I answered that guy's question when he asked me about this. What should I use? And it's like, it's kind of more complicated than just, a paragraph or of response or whatever. So it was a great question because it brings into things that you probably didn't think of. And that's why we're here. So for myself, this gap here would be Iron Mace whenever I get there. And see, when I got 8 skills, I'm like 850,000 away. I'll get there at some point. It doesn't really matter. I'm successful with 5 skills or 4 skills, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. These are just make you slightly more successful. So realistically, I think that covers all the stuff that you really need to consider. Marder 38T, let's take a look. Here we go. Battles, almost 1,500. Wins 57%, that's pretty good. I was thinking, what is my damage per game? 743. Basically, call it 750, which is a good, solid average. Now, in the beginning, it was lower, and these days, it's higher. Now, realistically, if someone asked me, I would say I'm ballpark of about 1,000 a game. But in my mind, I wouldn't be considering games where, bad luck happened. Which I don't know, you get killed, you get charged by several guys and get, 150 points and then you're dead. That's bad luck because your team didn't do their job. So you wouldn't even think about that because that's not your fault or your business. So you would naturally internally discount that, and that's why the number is a little bit less. Like I said, if I go into a match, the most common responses I'm going to end up the game with is 1,000 plus, maybe 900. But it's going to normally for me it'd be more 900 to 1,000 than 750. That covers all the games in the beginning when you're not as good, and then now when you're at your apex of skill. So it's a gradually increasing number is what is really going to happen for you as well as myself. So that's what that means. Hit percentage 58%, pretty good. Could be better. Destroyed per game 2.01 average is very good. Again, that does take into account the bad luck games, okay, because you're going to have bad luck games. So anytime you're 2 or higher, you're doing good. So that's just one of those things. Historically, I think my highest one is about 2.4 in artillery. But anything 2 or better is really good. Kill-death ratio is what that would be called. And I don't even know what damage ratio is. 2.93%. It beats the heck out of me, man. Don't know. So, marks of excellence are not possible except on tier 5 or higher, so that's why you have no chance of that at all. And that doesn't matter. I play what works for me. Now, for myself, this is the number 1 most efficient tank that I have with damage and, what have you. And so it's one of my highest MVP, tanks. There's not a stat of how many MVPs you've gotten in matches. Oh, well, there should be. This would be one of the highest for myself. If not number 1, maybe number 2 or number 3. Obviously, mastery badge, very difficult. You have to score, I don't know, 2,500 now, maybe more. And I do that from time to time. You just got to, get on the right team, get in the right position on a map that has good traffic flow for you to score. And it's going to vary, again, on your comfortability and your skill. When to know to move, when to stay put, stuff like that. But this is something that experience itself will take care of. So I think that this covers really everything that we need to cover. This is a butt kicker tank. Now, the reason this tank is a butt kicker for me is because back in the days, my main tank was this tank. Behind it, you see the Tier 2 Panzerjäger 1, or Panzerjäger 1 is what, people would call it. Here we go. This is that tank I was just telling you about. So you can see the Marder. I don't have the Marder 2 because it's completely inferior, the Tier 3. This is the Tier 2, absolutely butt kicker. You cannot get this tank. You either have this tank or you don't. It's discontinued. And basically, this is the Tier 2 Marder 38T. Has a great flexibility. It plays almost identical to the 38T. So for years I played the Panzerjäger because it's just my favorite tank, and the games are just much smoother. And so when I learned about this tank, it was like, oh man, dude, this thing is awesome. And it's also difficult to get matches in that Tier 2 tank. So this is the compromise. It's basically the bigger brother. And I'm an ace in the Tier 2. I'm an ace in this one. The Marder 2 is okay. The thing is, basically this is just a stepping stone. And the reload on this guy is really longer than it should be, which makes it slower to score. One of the things that's great about the Marder 38T is that the reload time is fast. Let's go check. I don't even remember what the reload is. Reload on this gun is 2.33 seconds. Well, this is maxed out. Okay, it's a little bit higher if it's not maxed out, but what happens here at 2.33 seconds is that you can get in a trade-off situation where you're shooting the guy, he's shooting you, and you're going to kill him because your reload crushes his reload, as a general rule. There's, of course, exceptions to that rule, but you get the general idea. So, absolute butt kicker, and highly recommended if you're considering, tier 4 sniper. Really, the only weakness of this tank is that it doesn't have great armor, and it has no turret. It has good solid speed, which it goes 51 with the traction added. So at the end of games, when you're the last guy or one of the last guys, you can move and do some scouting if necessary. But of course, you have no turret. So really an awesome tank. To me, one of the best. If it had a turret, it'd be just phenomenal. So this is one of my main long haul dudes because I can go relatively fast and I execute in this tank quite well. So maybe this will appeal to you, maybe it won't. But at any rate, you learned something about this tank that hopefully will help you, especially if you're considering, getting this tank. So that's basically it. I hope this helps you guys out. Again, please leave a like for this video. That would really help spread the word. Tell your friends. That way they'll have a chance to check it out. Maybe they'll like and subscribe. You never know. So I got another butt-kicking video, ironically, in a sniper tank that you will see today. And it is from my rock crawler. So look for that one. After you see this one, it'll be available at some point shortly today. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'm going to go work on that other video, so I will see you guys later.